For the first time in the Patrick Mahomes era, the Kansas City Chiefs start off 0-2 to begin a season. Is it time to panic here in Kansas City? Bud Crawford gets big win over Canelo Alvarez. That might be an understatement, saying a big win. I mean, an absolutely massive win for Bud Crawford, legacy defining, as well as Noche UFC goes off the rails there towards the end. So we're going to get into all this and more. Obviously, we're going to focus on what happened yesterday at Arrowhead. Bear with me, my voice sounds like terrible. We'll just say terrible. It sounds terrible. I was out there at Arrowhead yesterday. Shout out to E. We had the live stream on TikTok, so if you tuned in for that, we greatly appreciate it. I'll be live with more than likely Ray for the Baltimore Ravens game. He'll be joining me on TikTok at the tailgate. So tune in to that in a couple of weeks when we are out there. Also, hit that subscribe button if you have not subscribed already. Hit the like button if you enjoy the podcast. We're sitting at 517. I think I'm still kind of processing the next goal for subscribers here on the channel. Still kind of shocked at hitting 500 before the NFL season starts. You guys are awesome, by the way. But we're going to get into a lot of what happened yesterday. I'm currently kind of starting to go through the film from yesterday. A lot to unpack. There was a lot of good. There's a lot of bad also yesterday, but the defense really did step up, and it was good to see. It was good to see the defense. The rookies looked really good yesterday, I think. You had Noel Williams, Omar Norman Lott, big sack, first career sack, as well as there's one more rookie that I cannot. Ashton Gelati. Ashton Gelati had a good game. Jeffrey Bossa showed up on special teams. At least once I can remember, had a good tackle. So rookies looking good on Sunday. So let's get straight into this game and break it down and talk. All right, let's kick this thing off by talking about what everybody's talking about. I was at the game, so I didn't really hear. I didn't hear the broadcast of the game, but I, saw and heard from other people talking. Tom Brady talked about the tush push and the false starts. False starts not being called. I want to say this first and foremost. This is not why the Chiefs lost the game. It was not about penalties, non-calls, anything like that. But I do want to talk about the tush push play, just because, obviously it's been so volatile over the last year and a half or so, not to mention, especially over this offseason with them voting on whether to ban it or not. I think it's got to be banned. And here's why. It has nothing to do with the success rate. The fact that nobody can stop Philly doing it. I think we finally saw why nobody can stop Philly doing it on Sunday, or this year. It's kind of got to the point where it's like, okay, hey, actually, this is an illegal formation that they're running. But my thing is mainly because, and if you watched any of my podcasts, listen to me talk film breakdowns, you'll know I'm a defensive guy. I know the average fan, the casual fans, they want to see 45 to 42. They want to see these offensive outpourings, all of these, the things, people love offense, right? It's like even on Sunday Night Football, I happened to drive to the gas station and listen to, I don't know what I was listening to, but somebody talking about the game that was happening on Sunday Night Football and talking about how bad it was, that, there was a turnover. They were in field goal range. The Falcons are working themselves out of field goal range. Sounds like good defense. I don't know what we're complaining about. Go back to Trey Wingo. Even go back to the Showbank show when we were recording that with Randy and Ray. And Trey Wingo, was like, oh, this Super Bowl's boring. Shut up. Stop watching it then. Talking about the Rams and Patriots Super Bowl in 2018, I believe that was that season. Super Bowl 53. They ended up being, I can't remember what the score was, but it was like 13-10 or something like that. Not a lot of offense in that game, right? It's good defense. Why doesn't everybody like good defense, man? So this is why I say I think the tush push should be banned. The rules are set up to where, the defense isn't supposed to push other defensive players forward, where the offense all of a sudden can. This is a rule that changed in the mid-2000s, somewhere around there, or maybe early 2010s, that used to be illegal, pushing the ball carrier forward. Now it's acceptable, but this formation is just stupid to me. Lining up 2 guys in the backfield to just push the quarterback, QB sneak all day. I'm fine with the QB sneak. QB sneak all day. That's whatever. But lining your guys up to then push, I mean, it's just not. But let's go back to the casual fans. Casual fans don't want to see this crap. There's nothing exciting about this play. I mean, which I kind of think it is a little bit exciting. I mean, it's just a brute force against each other. But a sneak, a quarterback sneak, that's exciting. But lining up 2 guys behind your quarterback to push him through, I mean, it's just also the rules of like progress and stuff. How many times do you see the Eagles get stopped on a tush push play, but the play keeps going? They get stonewalled, but the refs don't blow the whistle. They let them keep pushing until they get the first or the touchdown or whatever it is. The defense can't do that. There's a play from a game, and I've talked about this before, and I might just go back to the film from, I think it was 2 years ago. It was the Houston Texans-Denver Broncos game on a kick return. Kick returner got stood up. The guy on defense ripped the ball out of his hands, fumble for a touchdown. No, play's dead. He stopped his forward progress, so the play's dead. Well, man, if the defense can't rip the ball from somebody's hands because they stood him up, why is the offense allowed to get stood up and then keep moving forward? It's not. I just don't like the rules of being different for either side, There's already so much to protect offenses. You can't touch receivers hardly. Look at that Devontae Smith catch at the end of the game that changed the game. You think if McDuffie would have really been physical on that play, that they wouldn't have thrown a flag, which, I think he should have anyways, and just let them throw the flag rather than letting them complete that. Devontae Smith is a great receiver. But, again, there's just so many protections in place for the offense that the defense does not get. And I don't like that. I'm personally not a fan. And I'm going to keep that opinion. That's the same opinion. This isn't a homer take. I promise it's not a homer take. Although it definitely looks like it. I totally get it. So smash the comments below and tell me I'm being a homer right here for the Chiefs. That's cool. I totally get it. But that's why I bring up the Broncos-Texans game. That I saw that play, and it really did change my opinion on a lot of things like that. Of just, why are we allowing offenses to push forward after they get stood up, versus why in the defense allowed to cause a turnover if they stand the offense up and you want to keep the play going? Okay, so let's get to this actual play. Let's actually talk about this. Now, this is a different picture. I've been seeing a lot circulating where Chris Jones is in the middle over here, where I believe that's Naughty 92 is his new number, and where JT Tillery is, Omenihu was. And Omenihu was in the neutral zone. Looks like Tillery's in the neutral zone too. But that play was flagged. The Omenihu one was definitely flagged. That was the one I remember that was flagged. So a lot of people passing around this picture talking about, because the number one thing from anybody supporting this play and saying, hey, well, look at the Chiefs, they're all in the neutral zone. The difference is the defense is reacting to the offense here. I don't think that you can penalize the defense for being in the neutral zone when the offense is in the neutral zone. The defense is reacting. The defense is reacting. Defense is always reacting to the offense. That's what defense is, right? You're reacting and trying to stop the offense. If the offense is lined up in the neutral zone, if I was the defensive coordinator, I'd say line up in the neutral zone. If they're going to do it, we're going to do it. We're reacting to them. And if they're going to call it on us, we'll talk to the officials. Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. But when you're allowing the offense to line up in the neutral zone, the center is over the ball. We saw the false starts. It's on tape. You can see it. You can deny it all you want, but almost every single tush push on Sunday should have been flagged for a false start. I want to go back one more time and say, this is not why the Chiefs lost the ball game. We'll get into that, why they lost the game. But I do think this is worth pointing out. Defense is reacting. If the offense is in the neutral zone, defense should be in the neutral zone too. Whatever the offense gets, the defense should get too. That's my point right here. No matter whether the Chiefs are involved or not. That is my staunch opinion of whatever you're going to let the offense get away with, you got to let the defense get away with too. It is what it is. We'll see how this is called and reacted to later on down the season, but I don't know. There's got to be a conversation about it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about the tush push play, about the false starts, about the neutral zone. I mean, at this point, I thought one of the tweets I saw was the best. The neutral zone is a myth at this point. It is. Center clearly in the neutral zone. The guard's in the neutral zone. But we're upset that the Chiefs are slightly in the neutral zone. I think Omenihu literally had a hand in the neutral zone. Omar Norman Lott, probably in the neutral zone right there. Although he might not be. The center's so far ahead. Omar Norman Lott might actually be lined up correctly. Can't really see from this play. We'll go back to the one where Jalen Hurts scored a touchdown. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you can really see. They pulled out the electronic measurement, the Josh Allen rule. Electronic measurement said he was short too. I don't know. I did think it was funny, the one that we saw, which the Chiefs got flagged for being in the neutral zone. I want to go back to that. For everybody saying, well, the Chiefs were in the neutral zone. Chiefs got flagged for being in the neutral zone a couple of times. At least twice. There was one near the goal line. There was one early in the game. So the Chiefs got flagged for it. The defense got flagged for it. Offense never got flagged for anything. There was one point the line judge, when the Chiefs put it up on AeroVision showing the false start, and the line judge was up there staring at the big screen. Yeah, that one, I got a kick out of that. I was upset at the time, but retrospectively it was pretty funny, actually. Looking live at a missed call. It's pretty funny. I don't know. My consensus is the officials are not good. The officials suck all around the board. And I think it goes back to the NFL probably being scared of the replacement refs from, I mean, that was almost a decade ago now. I can't remember exactly what year that was. It was atrocious, obviously. I think the NFL's terrified of that. But the product's not good right now. The officiating crew is not good. Any of them. There's not a lot of, there are some good ones, but there are not a lot of good officiating crews in the NFL. I'm not even sure what the crew was that officiated this game yesterday. I haven't looked into it. But like Carl Sheffer's crew was pretty bad. That's a pretty bad crew. I don't know. So I'm never one that's going to blame, officials and say, well, if we would have got this penalty, well, if they wouldn't have called this, oh, they screwed us out of the game. They're cheating. That's the one that gets me every time. Everybody online. Oh, well, they're cheating for this team. Like, do you realize how ridiculous you sound? How goofy you sound? They're bad at their job. They're not cheating. Not cheating for anyone. That cheating word is just the cheating Chiefs. They love to use that one. The cheats, right? I'm not going to be that guy. I've watched it over the last 2-3 years. I mean, really since the holding call on Bradbury that was a hold in that Super Bowl, I think that everyone's just kind of been over the Chiefs, which be over the guys that are committing the penalties. Why are you mad at the Chiefs? Because they're capitalizing on other teams that commit penalties. It is what it is. Be upset about it, I guess, but it's just crazy takes, which, whatever. I've been on my soapbox the last couple of weeks about, we obviously can see from the comments, not a lot of people actually sit and watch the games. They got it on TV. They're not paying attention. They watch the highlights after the game. Oh, those cheating Chiefs. Oh, they're cheaters. Oh, they're refs. They got the refs in their back pocket. I'm not going to be that guy. Although it would be kind of funny, right? Like, let's start that trend. Obviously, the Eagles got the refs in their back pocket. They're cheaters. They're all cheaters. The Eagles are cheaters. Just sounds silly. Either way, not why the Chiefs lost the game, but I think that this conversation is interesting to have about the neutral zone and how they're going to call this going forward. The false starts. I mean, Lane Johnson is notorious for being a full starter. But it's almost down to a science. It's almost a technique. Be just enough early. It to the naked eye, it doesn't necessarily look like it while you're out there calling the game. And that's another thing that I think a lot of people don't take into account. We are watching all of this in super slow-mo and then go, whoa, why didn't the refs call that? Why didn't the refs? They're watching it live. They're not watching slow-mo. They're not watching a slow-mo replay. I doubt a line judge could pick up that these guards are moving early on every single play. I don't necessarily buy that you can see that live with the naked eye, probably. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Either way, Tush Push, it's not a football play. You want to watch rugby, go watch rugby. But I don't think that this should be a play to be allowed in the NFL. I don't think that's fun. I don't think it's exciting. Well, I mean, it's kind of exciting to me as a sicko football fan. But to the average casual, I don't think this is an exciting play. I've seen plenty of people talking about that online. I don't think a lot of people think it's an exciting play. Again, quarterback sneak all day. I'm all for the quarterback sneak. It's a good play. Tush Push, just these optics of the tight end and Saquon Barkley lining up behind Jalen Hurts to push him forward. That shouldn't be allowed. Defense can't do it. Offense shouldn't be allowed to do it either. Is my take. Let me know. Sound off in the comments. Let me know what you think. All right, so let's get into the actual game now and talk about what this game actually was. As you can see by the team stats, Chiefs had more total yards, more passing yards, rushing yards the same. Eagles had one more. Yards per play, the Chiefs had more. Third down efficiency, Eagles were a little bit better, had one better. First downs, the Chiefs led by one in. Realistically, the Chiefs outplayed the Eagles. I mean, I think that this was, let's go back to that question, is it time to panic? No, it's not time to panic. The Chiefs are 0-2. They played two really good football teams. They played the defending Super Bowl champions yesterday. They played the Los Angeles Chargers, a divisional game, on the road in Brazil. Weird way to start a season. Tough way to start a season. And I don't think it's time to panic. Mistakes were made out there. Bad decisions is what cost the Chiefs the game. I mean, you come out of the locker room and spot the Eagles 3 points. 10 of the Eagles' 20 points were spotted by the Chiefs. You give up the ball in field goal range to start the half off. I mean, that's tough. You gave up a tie game, what is 10-10 coming out of the half. Chiefs start with the ball. Offense looks dreadful. An absolutely horrific play call on 4th and 4 by Andy Reid. Maybe a 4th and 1, I would have understood the play call. But a 4th and 4, that was insanity. And you know what? I do appreciate the aggressiveness. I will say that. But this offense is in no state to be going for it on 4th and 4 in field goal range for the other team to start a half. They gave them 3 points. The Eagles went 3 and out on that next drive. I do love that the confidence is there for the defense, because you got to have some confidence in your defense to do something like that, right? So I do appreciate that the confidence obviously was there from the first half. The defense looked amazing in the first half. The whole game, the defense looked great. The Eagles did not play well. It took Saquon, I mean, he ran for like 3 yards per carry, I think, or something like that. Maybe it was 4. Let's look at Saquon. Yeah, 4 yards per carry, which, I mean, just the best running back in the league. One of the top 3 for sure. You held to 88 yards on 22 carries. Not bad. Not bad. Held Jalen Hurts to 101 yards. Not bad. I mean, Jalen Hurts, I tweeted this, and I said, coming into the season, I was kind of on a proponent of having Jalen Hurts as the number 5 quarterback in the league. Obviously, the top 4 are Mahomes, Jackson, Allen, Burrow. 5, I don't know, maybe Herbert. Maybe it's Jalen Hurts. Maybe Maybe Purdy you could throw in there. Maybe, there's a few guys that's kind of ambiguous at number 5, right? And I thought Jalen Hurts maybe is that guy. Boy, was I wrong. Jalen Hurts is definitely not a top 5 quarterback in the league. And look, I'm not trying to, I don't know, we'll decipher that how you will. I'm not trying to be the Chiefs guy right here hating all over Jalen Hurts, but watching him in person, this is the first time I ever saw him in person. That may be the worst deep ball I've ever seen in my life. And I know the first one, I saw a closer highlight of it. He hit his elbow on the helmet of one of his offensive linemen. I don't know about the second one that he actually completed to Devontae Smith, but it was definitely terrible. What am I trying to say? Just it wasn't correct, right? He threw it off of his back foot, just launched it up in the air. He throws arm punts is what it seems like. And maybe I just didn't see the best version of Jalen Hurts yesterday. So that's, we can debate that. I'm totally down with that. Not to say Jalen Hurts is a bad quarterback. Just, boy, the 2 deep balls I saw him throw yesterday were a couple of the worst I've ever seen. Patrick Mahomes did not have success throwing the deep ball either yesterday. But we'll get into that on the film breakdowns. Like I said, I'm starting to get through the film. But the Chiefs outplayed the Eagles. Absolutely, 100%. The Chiefs looked very good yesterday, defensively. Offensively, we know where the offense is at. Rashee Rice is out. Xavier Worthy's hurt. The Chiefs will get better. The first half of the season is much more difficult than the second half of the season. That's why it is not time to hit the panic button in Kansas City, I don't think. They played 2 very, very good teams. The Eagles have maybe the best roster in the NFL, and they outplayed them on Sunday. I think that's positive. Andy doesn't make that decision to go for it on 4th and 4 to start out the second half. We may be looking at a game that goes to overtime because the Eagles couldn't really move the ball against the Chiefs' defense. They did not move the ball well. You spot them 3 points. Travis Kelce spots him another 7. That's a 14-point swing for Travis Kelce not catching the ball. Shout out to Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes took the blame on that. Where it's quarterback being a quarterback. Maturity is there. Because that was not Patrick Mahomes' fault whatsoever. I don't believe. We'll look at the film and we'll see where the ball was placed exactly. But I do not believe that was truly Patrick Mahomes' fault. It hit Kelce in the hands. And maybe Kelce should have retired over the offseason. Maybe we'll talk about that. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about that. I know that I saw a lot of negative comments about Travis Kelce yesterday, and just feels like he's kind of been putting on a show these first 2 games, right? Not playing a lot of football, he's just kind of putting on a show. It is what it is, It's a tough loss for the Chiefs, but I think Tom Brady said it very well on the broadcast from what I did see there towards the end of the game, or maybe it was just a quote that I saw, but, this adversity and these moments are going to help you build upon, and really figure out who you are as a team this year in 2025, who the Chiefs are, and really get to look at themselves, through the film this week and, get to practice. Mahomes did mention, he thinks that the team will just respond to this by working harder. Patrick Mahomes, pretty good game. All in all, 187 yards off 16 completions. How about 66 rushing yards? For the second week in a row, Patrick Mahomes is the leading rusher. The Chiefs did not run the ball well against the Eagles, which was kind of expected, I think. Again, you got one of the best rosters in the NFL. Kelce, decent game. If you take out the play that lost the game. I think at the end of the day, and I don't love putting everything on one play because I think it's kind of a twofold answer of why the Chiefs lost. Bad decision on the 4th and 4. I know I've said that like 5 times already, but it was bad. It was very bad. The crowd was very upset. I think I heard 3 or 4 people around me saying, what the hell was that? But between that and Kelce tipping the ball up in the air, giving up an interception, that interception is on Travis Kelce, 100%. PFF even tweeted, hey, this is why we track turnover-worthy plays. Because that was not a turnover-worthy play by Patrick Mahomes. Although they did turn the ball over, and he has an interception next to his name now. Also, that run that Mahomes had for the touchdown, that was insane. Amazing play. Hollywood Brown, 5 catches for 30 yards. Tyquan Thornton, 2 for 59 and a touchdown. They finally figured out that deep ball. How about Nico Remigio? I thought that was awesome. I feel like at that point, it did kind of feel like Andy thought, okay, nothing is working on offense. Let's just start trying stuff. And Remigio caught a 21-yard pass. I think it was in the first 3 quarters or something Matt Derrick mentioned after the game that the Chiefs didn't throw the ball over 10 yards, 10 air yards in like the first 3 quarters of the game. This offense is rough right now, man. It's rough. You don't have anybody that can get good separation. Hollywood Brown is your number 1 receiver. Kelce's not playing well. It's gonna be tough. You're gonna have to rely on that defense over the next 4 weeks. You got 4 more games without Rashee Rice, and until he returns, and we'll see what happens with Worthy. Obviously, he was out for this game, but was back at practice already, so we will see. It looks like he's going to require surgery at the end of the season, but they're going to hold off their rehabbing him. So we'll see when we get Xavier Worthy back to see what the offense looks like. Because I think they'd be fine if Worthy was in the lineup. But if you can get Worthy and Rice back around the same time, this offense is going to be completely different. So I'd hold off on the panicking, Chiefs Kingdom. Hold off on it. 0-2 is not ideal, but it's not time to hit the panic button yet, I don't think. But the Lions coming up, the Baltimore game in a couple of weeks. Obviously, you have the Giants. The Giants is not going to be an easy game. That is one of the best defenses in the league. I think this offense is going to have a lot of problems. Or, the Kansas City defense is going to have to step up in that game, I think. One thing that the Chiefs defense does not do too much is cause turnovers. And I think they need some turnovers Sunday night against the Giants. And we will talk about that more on Thursday. Probably go more over this game with EDJ on Thursday as well. And obviously preview the Sunday night matchup for the Chiefs. All in all, a bad decision, a very bad play by a Hall of Fame tight end is the story of this game. I think when you look at the whole optics of the game going from start to finish, it's not as bad as, it's a 3-point loss. It's very different from how this game went in February, right? But I digress. Like I said, I don't think it's time to panic. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Is it time to panic? Are you panicking on this Chiefs team at the current moment? And what you think the near future holds until the Chiefs get some of their offense back. But I don't know, man. I really don't think this game is as bad as a lot of people are making it out to be. I don't think the Chiefs lost because of the penalties on the tush push play that were not called. Chiefs, I go back to the officials. The officials are bad. What can you do? The officials are bad. We'll probably recap more of week 1. I think I'm going to go back and try to watch some of the games from Sunday. Obviously, I was out there tailgating all day, so I didn't see anything from anyone else really other than highlights. And, I've been on my soapbox the last couple of weeks about the highlight watchers out here that don't watch the game, so I don't want to talk too much about anything else, although Danny Dimes. How about Danny Dimes 2-0? The Colts. Shout out to MIZZOU. My residential Colts fan is and B, both of them. Colts fans. Their team is 2-0. Shout out to them for that. But all in all, I don't think this game was really as bad. How about 9.4 yards per carry on 7 carries for Patrick Mahomes? The Chiefs are not going to win every game off the back of just Patrick Mahomes, and that's it. Let's talk about these rookies on defense, though. Omar Norman Lott. And if you have kept up with my podcast at all, I'm an Omar Norman Lott guy. I really wanted the Chiefs to get him leading up to the draft. They draft him. He gets a sack on a huge play from Omar Norman Lott. We'll definitely see that in the film breakdown. Noah Williams had a day. One-on-one with A.J. Brown. getting a pass breakup. One-on-one with Devontae Smith getting a pass breakup. Noah Williams had a day. I also mentioned Ashton Gelati. Gelati had a solid day. Mike Dana out with a hip injury. Ashton Gelati had a pretty good day stepping in for him. We wanted to see, I talked about that last week. Wanted to see more of Ashton Gelati. We got that. He looked good. The pressure is not good. The Chiefs not getting a ton of pressure when they bring 4. Spags stops sitting back. There's a lot of blitzing in this game. We're going to look at on the film breakdown. So that's coming up this week. So hit that subscribe button if you want to see the film breakdowns. Hit the bell to stay notified whenever I post. I'm going to try to, by tomorrow, have at least the first film breakdown out and go over it. I've been staying mainly, more defense and offense for separate film breakdowns. But, we're going to get into the film this week. So hit that notification bell to stay notified when I post. Hit the like button if you enjoy the podcast as well. But also comment. Let me know. I want to hear from you, Chiefs Kingdom. How you guys feeling after this 3-point loss to the Eagles where the Chiefs, really for 60 minutes, outplayed them? Chiefs lost this game. They gave it away to the Eagles, really. I think that this was after kind of mulling over it, getting over the post game. I was going to record this last night, but I ended up recording this morning just because, I was tired as hell after being out there all day, and it was hot. It was hot, very humid out there at Arrowhead. Sweat a lot. Probably lost a few pounds out there, sweating everything off. But, I think for the most part, this is a positive game for the Chiefs. I do truly believe that it was a lot more positive than week 1, right? And now it makes you even more kind of want to go back to week 1 and be like, man, that, if the Chiefs played like they did on Sunday against the Chargers, they beat the Chargers, 100%, I think. 2 one-score losses. That'll get the Chiefs haters riled up and excited to talk about how the Chiefs are now losing these one-score games, right? So shout out to you guys. Last but certainly not least, I want to get into the combat sports action over the weekend. It was a big weekend for TKO. Obviously, you had Noche UFC at Bud Crawford versus Canelo. And man, what a win for Bud Crawford. I mean, Terrance Crawford went out there and it looked great. It was, I don't know, I can't say that I've ever really watched Terrance Crawford box. Canelo, I've hardly watched box. Not a boxing guy. Not a big boxing guy, at least. Very casual boxing guy. So if I sound ignorant at any point in this talking about boxing, let me know in the comments below. Let me know your opinions on over the weekend. But Crawford looked really good. You had what Ray said, 2 counter punchers. You look back at Floyd, very good counter puncher. And so that's, it's always interesting to see 2 counter punchers go up against each other. And Bud looked really good. I mean, when he was first, he looked really good. I mean, Canelo could not stop his combos. It didn't feel like in that matchup at all. When Bud was on, there was I want to say it was around the 7th or 8th round where Canelo didn't even throw. The whole round, Canelo didn't really throw until he got Crawford in the corner, which kind of some bad footwork from Crawford, I thought, because, backing yourself into a corner, especially the way that round was going, I thought was kind of just not the move, we'll say, for Terrance Crawford at that time. But I don't know. Either way, he looked really good, and that's a career-defining win, legacy win for him, beating Canelo. Canelo's been really the guy to take over boxing, at least at the lower weight classes, since Floyd retired. Obviously, he's only 2 losses now, 3 losses. I want to say 3 losses, 2 losses. I can't remember exactly. But obviously, lost to Floyd, now lost to Terrance Crawford. Do we see a rematch? I mean, I think that's the only matchup to make. You got 2 guys that are, kind of in the sunset of their careers. Might as well do it one more time. I think for Terrance Crawford, money-wise, it would be really smart. Get one more big-time payoff. And, I mean, hey, maybe you get 2 of them out of it if Canelo wins the rematch. And then you get third one to go. I mean, I think TKO would love to put 2 more Terrance Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez boxing matches together. We'll see. What do you guys think is next for Canelo and Crawford in their careers? But huge win. I mean, undisputed champ. Terrance Crawford undefeated. Could ride off into the sunset undefeated, but big payday nonetheless. Not sure what the totals are between both of them, which is another thing with TKO getting involved. We all know as UFC fans, we do not know what these fighters get paid actually behind the scenes. There's reported payouts, and then there's all this locker room money and bonuses and blah, blah, blah. Bunch of buzzwords to make sure they don't have to pay fighters what they deserve or what they're worth, I think is really what it comes down to. So transitioning to Noche UFC, wild night. You had Tatiana Suarez on the main card, or on the undercard, excuse me, fighting. She got a big dub. Diego Lopes looked like a monster. I mean, the way he did John Silva in that fight, I mean, was insane. Obviously, a lot of bad blood between Fight Nerds and Diego Lopes. I mean, that was crazy. The way it broke down at the end, I thought it was funny that the night that Dana's not going to be there, and especially such a, whatever. I mean, I don't know if I want to get into it too much, but Dana, you know, this Noche card is a big deal to him. He loves Mexican fighting, you know, the spirit of the Mexican fighter, you know, that I think we all know and love, right? You know, like, these guys go out there and throw down. And we saw that on Saturday night. Diego Lopes, man, dude, I know I just said that 2 times in a row, but man, what a fight. What a performance by Diego Lopes that he put on John Silva. But I thought it was funny that he wasn't there. Switched from a pay-per-view to a fight night. Moved up earlier in the night. Well, to not conflict with another TKO event. I don't know. I mean, I get it from, like, you know, the people that really want to raise an eyebrow at, but at the same time, I mean, I also do kind of get it from a business standpoint of, like, this is, you know, your company's putting both of these things on. Why make them compete with each other? So, and, you know, I think we, as the fans, kind of won that, right? Instead of a pay-per-view, we got a fight night. I mean, if you're paying for ESPN Plus already, you went from, instead of having to pay $80 more to see this card, to just being able to watch it. Obviously, the pay-per-view model coming to an end soon anyways. But Diego Lopes, I think, asserts himself for another title shot at this point. I got to go back and watch the Volk fight, Lopes versus Volk, just to see how that went. Because Diego Lopes looks like a man on a mission to get that gold. I think he is clearly, far and away, the best at 145 pounds outside of, obviously, the champ, Volkanovski. Maybe you can move up to lightweight if that doesn't work out. I don't know. But Diego Lopes looked really good. Really good. Tatiana Suarez looked pretty good, too, in her matchup. I'm trying to remember the other fights on the card. I was kind of, like, sparingly watching that while I was watching college football as well. Watching that Georgia-Tennessee game. That was insane, right? I don't know if you guys watched that game, but that was good. We will end this on MIZZOU. Let's talk a little bit of MIZZOU football. I'm sure we'll get more into MIZZOU football with DDJ on Thursday. Papa Sean Knows podcast, Mondays and Thursdays. MIZZOU, Bo Prabula, still just doing his thing. I mean, they were supposed to win this game, but the one thing that I really took from Saturday for MIZZOU is we have seen a lot of Missouri football playing down to their competition over the last couple of years. They did not do that with the Raging Cajuns at all. Louisiana came in and got promptly dealt with by the Missouri Tigers on Med Hardy. Huge day for the Tigers. I really did, you know, it feels like this is the year. You know, I mean, I know me and EDJ talked about it, but if they're going to make the playoffs, this is the year that they can make the playoffs. Absolutely. I think this team is really good, and you get a really good test. You get a South Carolina team coming off a loss to Vanderbilt that, you know, the Tigers, they got to play Vanderbilt later on this season as well. I think they're a sneaky good team with Dylan Pavola. I don't know, man. This is going to be an interesting game. Lenore Sellers versus Bo Prabula. South Carolina versus Missouri in Columbia. We'll get more into that on Thursday as well. But I don't The one thing I will say that I don't love is the fact that they're going to have to face South Carolina coming off of a tough loss. It's a really good football team, and they're going to have to deal with an angry South Carolina team. So it's going to be a dogfight out there on Saturday at Furrow Field in Columbia, Missouri. See how it goes. But I do like what we've seen out of Mizzou. I mean, Bo Perbula has been on fire to start the season. Matt Hardy's been on fire. I mean, this offense is clicking. Josiah Trotter on the defensive side. I mean, this defense looks really good too. So I think the Missouri Tigers, I think they are in a very good place to start off SEC play this upcoming weekend. We'll see how it goes. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about Mizzou football, what you guys thought about the boxing matchup, whatever you want to comment about the Chiefs game, the Tush Push, Diego Lopes and his masterful performance getting a stoppage in the second round over Jean Silva. Let me know, sound off. Hit that subscribe button if you have not already subscribed, to the like button if you enjoy the podcast. We'll be having Chiefs film breakdowns come up this week. Hopefully by tomorrow I'll have one of them out, and we'll begin to really dissect this game leading up to a Sunday night football matchup with the New York Football Giants for the Kansas City Chiefs in, I was going to say the Big Apple, but in New Jersey at MetLife. But either way, thank you for tuning in. If you watched to the end, I do greatly appreciate it. Until Thursday, I will see you around. Let me know your thoughts. We'll talk about it on the podcast on Thursday. Till then, boy Papa Show.